Welcome to this edition of Building with Bill. Today we're going to cover wall anchors, the different types of wall anchors out there, and also how to put them in and what to look for inside your wall. Now, these are the plastic wall anchors that have been around forever, and I hate them. One of the problems is they don't really hold very well. Sometimes they can break loose and spin inside the drywall. Also, too, when they come out of the drywall, they can make a really nasty hole. These are what I really prefer. These are plastic drywall anchors. This one right here has a crown top, and this one here has the pointed top. The pointed top is the one I like because I think it goes into the wall a little bit straighter. They have these available in aluminum as well. I don't like aluminum. The reason for that is I don't know what's in my wall, electrical or plumbing, and this could be something that could puncture a line, so I'm going to stay away from those. A lot of the contractors right now are using this, which is called a wall dog. It has a very aggressive thread onto it. Not only it goes into the wall easy, but it comes out easy and makes a small hole. Okay, let's take a moment and cover our tools now that you're going to need for something like this. You know, a cordless drill is, essential. Now, what makes one cordless drill different from another cordless drill? It really comes down to the battery. What I look for is a nickel cadmium battery. These batteries are going to last 5 times longer than a regular battery, hold their charge, and really, this is what makes the drill. This is probably what I would consider is probably the best drill on the market. It's $350, but again, a nickel cadmium battery, and for me, it's got a hammer feature that allows for drilling in concrete. Also wanted to take a second to show you how I hold my drill. You can actually see I put my index finger down the drill like this. This helps me point the drill and control it laterally. It also, too, if a drill gets caught and binds and it goes to spin, it'll break free of my hand. Where if I'm holding a drill like this and it spins, and people have actually broke their arms, you'd really have to be concerned if you're using a drill like this for that application. So what I want to do, and also you can see that when I hold the drill like this, it's more on my arm's level, so I can control that a little bit better. This is a $39 little drill, and if I was to just have one drill in my house, this would be the first one I would get. It's real easy to hold, it's got a high torque level, and this has got a lithium battery in it. This is a stud finder. Again, most of my programs are going to be donated to the person that doesn't have this type of tool. But the new stud finders, not only do they have lasers in them, but they also have a sensor for wood and steel studs. A torpedo level. This is another essential that I would add to my toolbox. And you don't need an 8-foot level. This little torpedo level, I can put this on an 8-foot board and it works just as good as an 8-foot level. So this would be something I would have. Your trusty hammer. I don't like wood shafts on my hammer. I like the plastic polyurethane shafts. I just think that these fracture less and are safer. Next, let's talk about what goes on behind your wall. Now, in a typical wall, you can have electrical, plumbing, and return plumbing. Hitting any one of these can cause some issues. And contractors will actually, in front of your electrical and plumbing, by code, have to put a plate on the 2x4. And that's one of the things that's great with the stud finders. Will help you find a stud, but they won't tell you if a plate like this is here. So what I really strongly suggest is using a nail. A nail like this with a head on it so I can pull it out easy. But when you hammer it in and then you get to something like that that's a plate, you know that you've hit a plate and you know this is an area to stay away from. Also too, if I'm going to use a nail, and let's say I'm going to go through and try to find a stud in the wall, well, if I make one hole, I know that the stud's 1.5 inches wide. So I want to make the next hole at least 1.5 inches, and also I don't want to do it in a straight line. That's going to be harder to cover up. So what I want to do is do my first hole, then maybe 1.5 inches over, the next hole, and then another hole to where I find the stud. Now, dealing with metal studs, you'll actually notice that when you hit a metal stud that you'll actually feel the nail give and kind of bounce back. And what it is, it's the stud deflecting as you're hitting it. what I want to do is actually drill a small hole into my metal stud and then put in my screw, which will actually create a collar effect around this thread. And you can actually see that it creates a collar effect around the screw, and this is just as strong as getting into a wood stud. Now when I want to go in and put my drywall anchor in, I've already done my pilot hole. Put it in. Now what I want to make sure is I don't over tighten. The drywall is a very strong structure as long as you don't break down the structure. Just make it snug and don't over tighten. And that same applies for when you're going ahead and putting in your screw into the drywall anchor. Just make it so it's snug. It doesn't have to be tight. Okay, and that'll give you your strongest bond for hanging your mirror or your painting or what have you. Okay, just to recap, the plastic wall anchors I think are the best. Use your nail and get your pilot hole in there, and don't over tighten. Again, probably the most important thing, not to over tighten the anchor into the drywall. So I want to thank you for watching this edition of Building with Bill. And if you have any questions about this episode or others, please visit buildingwithbill.net. Thank you again.